First of all, Michael, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time.
Happy
I know you're a busy guy. First question, when you have the bye week, and you've done this a few times now in the National Football League, do you like to just completely get away from football, or do you somehow have to stay close to it, either mentally or physically?
Definitely physically, I need to stay close to it. My first year in the league, I wasn't used to being away from football, because in college you still practice and you still
Right.
do your lifts, you just don't play a game. But first year here, I was like, maybe it might be good to get away from it for a week, and I came back and it took me like a couple practice sessions to get back into it, and I didn't like that feeling. So I make sure I punt every bye week. I just punted once and lifted a few times and keep in it. But mentally, you can kind of get a little mental break from not playing.
Are you one of those guys that the special teams coach, or even Pete, has to say, take it easy, don't kick so much, don't leave it all out here on the practice field? You one of those guys?
Yeah, I used to be a lot more. I still punt more than anyone else I know. Every time we play a different team, their specialists will say, why are you punting so much in the warm-ups? But I just like it. I came from Aussie rules football, and you constantly kicking a ball in that sport. Then it's not 100% effort with every kick in that sport, but I kind of just like hitting a lot of footballs. So I'll hit more footballs than probably necessary, but I enjoy it.
Do you visualize?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a lot of visualization.
Do you?
Yeah.
And you can visualize putting that ball where you put it, because it's pretty amazing what you can do with a football.
Yeah. I mean, I go. The more detailed I am with my visualization, the better I feel. So I'll picture the grass. I'll look down at my feet in my visualization. I'll see my laces. I'll hear like my pads. I'll like feel I'll close my eyes and I can just go there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. I got on the. I'm an old guy, so I got on the Google machine.
Yeah.
And I found something on you, and here's the quote about you. He punts balls with consistency and length that most mortals have not and cannot do. In 20 years, Dickson will be in the Hall of Fame. That's pretty high praise. How is it that you do what most mortals can't?
I don't know. I don't really compare myself to other punters, so I mean, I just have a very high standard for myself. I don't know. I guess I love doing it. So in the off season, I was talking to my strength coach. He said take a month off punting, at the end of the season. So that's what we did after last season. That was hard for me. Like, I wanted to just go out and punt. Like, I just love it. I love kicking footballs. Like, it's like relaxing, but also it's like exciting and it's fun. So I guess I'm lucky that I enjoy it.
One of the ways that players are judged in the National Football League and in any pro sport is where do you rank with respect to other punters, and not just statistically, but on the pay scale. And you're the highest paid punter in the league, so that must say something to the rest of the league. What does it tell you? Would you do this for free if you could? If you had to?
I mean, I love it. So I just said I loved it. So, if I had to do it for free, I'd probably do it for free.
You've been asked a million times, I'm sure, about the double punt against the Rams. But is there something else that you have done in your career, be it at the University of Texas or here with the Seahawks, that you, in your own mind, that was even a better play that you made at that moment?
I guess there was one that was similar my freshman year at Texas. It was just a crazy rain game against Kansas State. They weren't really swapping the footballs out, so these footballs were just like waterlogged, like Texas rainfall. So it was heavy, and it was snapped over my head, and I just ran around and picked it up and like kicked it over my shoulder a little bit and went to the 8. So I mean, I think the double punt was probably cooler than that, but that was similar, I guess.
You kicked it over your shoulder?
Kind of. Like I ran, picked it up, and then turned my body probably 90 degrees and kicked it.
Is that something that would happen in Aussie rules as well? So
yeah, I mean, so it's a skill that translates from Aussie rules. A lot of Australians think it's the exact same thing, but it's completely different. But some of the skills transfer over, so I feel like I was able to do both of those things because of my background. But also, you know, a lot of practice in dealing with these American footballs and kind of staying calm, and just everything feels like it's moving in slow motion. So, you know, the sports psychologist that works with the team, Mike Gervais, he messaged me afterwards and was like, that was flow state, you're in flow state, that was great. And yeah, it's definitely in flow state during that play.
Let's get away from the field for a second and talk about just who you are in coming here. Came from Sydney, Australia, by way of Melbourne, and then by way of Texas. Could you have gotten to a much different place than Sydney, Australia, than Austin, Texas? And what was that transition like for you, and now being here in Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously major differences, but there was also a lot of similarities in Austin. When I went on my visit, I felt there was a feeling like a familiarity when I went there. It kind of felt homey. So I love Austin. And then coming to Seattle, the same sort of feeling. You know, you find things that can take you back home in certain ways, but yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy journey. It all happened so fast within those first couple years. You know, I started punting in 2015, early 2015, kicking in American football for the first time, and then I ended up kind of progressing through that pro kick academy really quickly, and then was playing that same year, and then I declared early, and then I was in the NFL within like 3 years. So, I mean, it all happened super quick.
Well, and enjoy every second of it. And I got a feeling you'd be the first person to say that this is not just you, that you have other guys around you all the time. How special are these special teams here in Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the culture here. Pete brings it up in every meeting, how important the special teams unit is and how we can feed off that juice. And you got guys like Belor and Cody and, you know, everyone that fills in, Homer. I mean, they were rookies in my second year, and I saw how much they learned and how much they bought into it. So the culture here for special teams is great. So I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Finally, Michael, and I found this really pretty remarkable. You said that you watched ancient Egypt videos, and it kind of got you ready for the day. My wife is a very smart person, and she loves on like YouTube watching tours through pyramids and things. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, oh, yeah, I mean,
that's what you watch.
Yeah, I'll watch them every morning.
Do you really?
I mean, most mornings I'll
just
watch
because
them.
It's so different from football, or?
No, just I mean, I've listened to a couple guys, and it's just like fascinating that, you know, there's humans like us that long ago living in a society. I mean, it blows my mind. I can keep diving into it, and it just blows me away.
Have you heard is it Hali Sawas? There's an expert an Egyptologist and an expert, and he's well.
Yeah, I've heard some things about it. I mean, there's a few like there's a lot of information about him. I don't know if I'm too keen on him.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. But my wife knows all about that stuff
right,
too.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's my final one. So while I was online looking up stuff on you, which is, you know, great to do, I also found a Michael Dickson, who is a vice president of corporate development for a high-tech firm, a Michael Dickson who's a champion track athlete in North Carolina, a Michael Dickson who's a philosophy professor in South Carolina, and one who's an actor.
Wow.
So I guess what it got me to thinking was, what would this Michael Dickson be if he weren't this punter for the Seattle Seahawks right now?
That's a good question. I would like to think that I'd be some type of entrepreneur. I'd like to be in control of my own schedule, my own life, my own direction. I would like to know that if I put a lot of effort into something, that I'd be the one dictating the outcome. So I think something that I could create myself.
But not for a while.
What do you mean not for a while?
Not for a while. You want to put all that stuff post-football off for a while.
Yeah. I'm 100% into football.
All in for another 10 years?
As long as I can, yeah. I mean, hopefully longer than that.
Yeah? We're all hoping the same thing.
Yeah.
Michael, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.